Hey guys, Tammy here. And in this video, I want to talk to you about court orders. Now, what happens when the court gives an order like both parties will complete a co parenting class? Or maybe you've had a situation where they've ordered one of the parents into therapy, or they've ordered one of the children to be assessed in some way, or they've ordered a custody eval. And then nothing happens. What do you do in that situation? Well, what happens usually is that nothing will happen for a while. And so we kind of think everything's fine. Sometimes we have expectations that the court's going to follow up on it, or we're going to get some call in some way. I have clients that think that the court can see the whole history of their whole lives of every every hospitalization, every bank account, no, the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing to that level or extent. And so what happens is when the court makes these orders and you don't follow them, then the next time you go in front of the court, you're not going to look so good. But that's the reason that these types of orders are so easy not to do anything about, because there really isn't any, court policing of the orders that come around and say, hey, have you complied with the orders that the judge made in the court? Now in criminal law, okay, a little different. If you're on probation or you're ordered to do community service or you're ordered for different things like that, yeah, they will follow up and make sure that you've done those things for the most part. But in family law, this isn't a law. This isn't a division where they're trying to decide who's guilty or who's innocent. This is where they're trying to decide what the different outcomes should be in regard to custody and support and division of assets and debts. Excuse me. So what happens is, the court makes these orders and then we don't really do anything about them. And so if we were ordered to a co-parenting class or ordered to do something like that, it kind of becomes one of those things of like, oh yeah, I'll get to that. Oh yeah, I'll get to that, right? It's like our long list of all of our to-dos that it gets put onto. Well, here's the problem with that. A lot of times what happens is we end up back in court sooner than we expected because either the other parent files something, or some situation comes up, or some emergency happens, and then, you need the court's help urgently, and you go in, and then suddenly the court realizes, oh, you didn't complete the orders from the last time. Did you complete your co-parenting class? Did you get into therapy? Did you do any of those things? Because if you're not following the court orders, that is the number one way to say to the court that you don't have any respect for them. Because, if they're going to take the time out of their busy calendar to hear your case, to make decisions, to try to help the situation and help the family. And I know we don't always like their decisions or what they say, but really you have to understand that the court's job is to try to manage this family as best they can, not really knowing anything about it. I mean, think if you were sitting in that judge's shoes and you had to try to make decisions about two people standing in front of you and their children, knowing that these were going to affect everybody's lives, but you really have very little information about the family, that doesn't really sound like a super fun job to me. That's hugely stressful, and that's a lot of weight on their shoulders. And so, they're sitting up there sweating over these decisions, trying to do the right thing, trying to put orders in place that are going to manage all the issues in the case, help with conflict, help the kids, help with whatever's going on. And then nobody even follows their orders. And so again, that can be seen as a very big form of disrespect. And so whether you were ordered to pay support, or whether you're ordered to transition the children at a certain time, or whether you're ordered to get into therapy or take your co-parenting class, you need to be following all of those orders. And you need to be proactive about it. You need to be proactive to the point to where if you're ordered to go do a co-parenting class, as soon as you're out of court, that's already in order. It doesn't matter if you have the paperwork. It doesn't matter about any of that. That's already in order. I would already be on looking for co-parenting classes that fit the parameters of what the court wants me to do and getting enrolled in it. And then when you're done submitting your certificate, even if there's no hearing coming up, and getting everything done and squared away so that if and when something does happen and you do need the court's help with it, you can go in, and whether the other parent has completed their part or not, you've completed yours. Sometimes you'll have orders that are dependent on the other parent, right? Like a co-parenting class, maybe they've ordered you to take joint therapy as a family or something like that. And all you can do in that instance is, send your follow-ups to the other parent, try to get them to comply. And if they don't, all you can do is submit that correspondence to the court and say, look, I tried to follow up with the other parent. I tried to do my part. They wouldn't engage. They wouldn't attend anything. So we couldn't make it happen because of that. But anything that's dependent solely on you that you don't need the other parent's input for, you proactively do that. And honestly, if you're in a high conflict situation and you haven't been ordered to a co-parenting class, take one anyway and submit that filing to the court, because that tells the court that you're being proactive in trying to problem solve the situations in your specific case. One of the things that I see clients do is, that they just think that if they don't file it or don't do whatever, that nobody's going to notice. But I'm telling you, the courts review their files in preparation for an upcoming hearing. So the next time that your case is in front of that judge, the first thing the judge is going to do is go back and say, what were my last orders? What was the last thing that I told these people to do? And do I see proof that they've actually done it? Because if you haven't done it and the other parent has, guess what? Your credibility just went down, right? And the other parent's credibility just went up because they did what they were ordered to do and you did not. And so this really is something that can hurt the overall perception of you in the case. And honestly, when we're in court and we're in front of the judges have to make these decisions so quickly, and they have so many cases that come in front of them that all these little things that you can do around your own credibility and the way that you carry yourself and your demeanor and all the different things that I talk about, these are just going to go a long way in making you credible in front of the court. And when you're credible and you're showing that you're following through, you're being a responsible adult and doing what you need to do, then what happens is that everything else that follows out of your mouth becomes more credible. It's just automatic. And by the same token, if the other parent isn't doing what they're supposed to do, it will hurt their credibility. And so this is where you can really gain a big advantage in your case. And honestly, don't sit back and go, oh, well, the other parent didn't do it, so I don't have to. No, the other parent didn't do it. So all the more reason for you to do it so that you can gain the advantage in this situation. So here is my little task for you. Go back and look at your last court orders. Go back and see if you've complied with everything that the court ordered you to do. And if you haven't, put that on your list to take care of today. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, because there's no court hearing on calendar. Take care of it ASAP, because again, you never know when you're going to end up in front of the judge and need all of that credibility and everything working in your favor. If you'd like to learn more about my coaching services, you can go to Divorce University Online /VIP-coaching. There is a link on there where you can book a free strategy session with me to learn more about how I can help you in your case. Thanks so much. I'll see you guys next time.